Jamal, why do you think your team lost this game tonight?
We gave up 69 points in the first half, gave up 13 offensive rebounds. I think that's a big portion of it. And then, Kobe White got going. But again, it was that first half defense that kind of set us back a little bit. Yes, it was only a 3-point game, but our ability to stop the attack downhill and then giving up second chance points is tough there.
Defense is the strength of your team. How do you reconcile that with that 69-point first half and then nearly a 30-point fourth quarter?
I think we got to sit down and lock in and understand exactly who we're guarding and how they're guarding. Kobe White was able to turn the corner, second chance points, couple hustle plays, 3 offensive rebounds in a row on one possession, and I think that gives up to 3. Those are deflating possessions that we've just got to come away with. I think that's a big portion of this game right now, but I think you give up 13 offensive rebounds, it becomes deflating to your defense when you do get the initial stop.
Coach, 3 games straight on this homestand that come down to the final possession. What was your message to the group after that to perhaps keep spirits up or help them along the way?
The message at the end was we got to fight our way out of this funk. That's exactly what it is. It's a funk, and we've got to fight our way out of it. And so our ability to go on the road, regroup, reset our mind and what we need to do and band together on the road and continue to fight, because in this league it can turn fast one way or the other. And I think our guys will understand exactly what we need to do in order to turn that.
You mentioned earlier knowing who you were playing, defending the right way. How much did Chicago's pace play a role in tonight's game?
They had 25 fast break points, so that was a major key. Understanding that they were pushing it make or miss. I think they had a few baskets directly after a few makes. Man down, a couple times we attacked the rim, got there, made it, and they were pushing it back down at us. So our ability to sprint entire game, it was key. But then the extra possessions, our ability to understand how we want to guard, not letting guys just drive right by you, and recognizing when you help and when you don't help. But again, protecting that rim first and then getting out to shooters.
I know you don't want to focus in on just the end of the game, but you guys had the lead heading into the final 2.5 minutes. What kind of stalled out offensively in those last 2.5 minutes when you guys were able to kind of get going throughout the course of the game?
Yeah, I'll go back and look at those last, 2:54, I think it was, when that timeout happened. I think our ability to, get in the gap, find the right play, and then we got some open looks. They just didn't drop at that time. And I think in a game of momentums, if you knock a shot down, it changes the momentum of the game. They came down off of some of those misses and knocked down some big shots, so they were able to get in the lane.
Dan mentioned you guys have played a lot of close games lately and come out on the other end of it. Is there an issue of confidence or an issue of getting tight in those moments, especially knowing how much you're hunting for a win right now?
No, I don't believe that. I do believe our guys continue to work on the things that we're doing and the looks that we're getting. Again, we've had a bunch of great looks for the way in which they were defending, created and generated a lot of open, great shots. We just got to be able to step in and knock them down at those times because of the way they're defending certain guys. P and Franz particularly, as that ball moves around the horn, we've got to be willing and able to step in and knock them down.
We spoke the last few games about offensive rebounding and the troubles that you guys have had closing out possessions. Obviously, Chicago's a team that shoots a ton of threes, and there's going to be a lot of long rebounds. How do you reconcile that in a game, and how do you kind of contend with that going forward?
We have to challenge ourselves, challenge each other, challenge, our guards got to come back and get some rebounds because long shots are long rebounds. We got to find a way to hit bodies first and then go get the rebound versus trying to get out and transition right away. You got to secure the rebound first by hitting, getting physical, checking, boxing, and then getting out and running to get yourself some easy baskets.
I understand you said you'd go back and look at the last 2 minutes and get a full evaluation of it, but just on the final possession, don't want to speak for you, but I'm assuming you would like the look that Paolo got from 3. What was going through your mind in those moments? Was there any consideration of calling timeout, regrouping, resetting from what we've seen over this stretch?
Yeah, there was a moment. It was 1.7 on the clock when we did the jump ball, and in that situation, you do have an imbalance in what was going on with them. So Paolo pushes the ball up the court. He crosses over to Franz. I think Kobe White runs through Franz to get the ball. In that moment, as it was 5.6 on the clock, I wanted to turn and look at a timeout. At that point, I believe he swung it to Paolo, who got a wide open look again, and now Wendell Wendell had the rebound, 0.9, 0.3 on the clock, and not enough time to put it back. But in that situation, I did think about calling the timeout, but we had gotten an open look and an open offensive rebound. That's why you don't call it when there's an imbalance on the floor, because you can get an open look.
The Bulls obviously were a little bit short at center. They got into foul trouble. Did that small lineup kind of got something going at the end of the second quarter? They used that to end the game. Was that something that was a little bit different for you guys, or something that you guys struggled with, considering there are some funkier lineups out there, especially without Jonathan?
Yeah, the small ball changed it a little bit for us again, but I think it always comes back. They were small and they still found a way to get the offensive rebound. So I think in that case, it's just our ability to finish possessions out no matter what. I mean, we ended up fouling a few times down the stretch when we were in the bonus, similar to the other night. So I think our ability to defend one without fouling, two, finish the offensive rebound, and just get out and be able to get out and go and guard and keep guys in front versus them being able to attack downhill and force a lot of rotations.
Different guys played different stretches of games, but what went into starting Caleb the fourth and having him play late like that?
Just looking for a different spark in that regard. I know Caleb, is his ability to knock shots down. He came in and knocked one down, got a wide open look on another one. So I think just being able to find those guys that can continue to space the floor the right way as they're continuing to guard Franz and P in different lights, whether it's a box and one or it's a triangle and two and it's a zone, whatever you're looking at, our ability to find the open spaces on the floor for these guys because they have been willing passers in order to find those shots.
Thank you, Coach Mose.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Kenny, it's 3 straight games that have come down to the final possession. What's kind of the message to the group to prevent that from becoming overly frustrating and perhaps spiraling?
We just trying to find a way. Right now we in a bad situation where we playing as well as we can, coming out with these nail biters, and then we just got to figure it out. Like, what's the cause of it? Why we not, ready at half or whatever it may be. We just got to find a way. I don't think it's any message. It's just, we got to get it, regardless.
Kobe White had 44 points tonight. What was the main challenge in defending against him?
Just contain him. He's a great player. He was getting to the basket when he was getting these layups where we missed low man help, and his pull-up threes. Most of them was wide open, but he's a great shooter. He just put the ball in the basket tonight.
You guys kind of tightened up defensively in the second half, but you guys allowed 69 first half points. Just what was maybe not clicking on that side of the floor in that first half?
Just the pace that the Bull had. They was getting the ball out, pretty fast. Soon, if make or miss, they was getting it down the floor. They was either we was fouling, or they was getting easy layups or a kick out three. I think that's what pretty much the whole first half. That's what they was doing. But the second half, we kind of like just slowed them down in transition. Make them play more in the half court, I would say.
Dan mentioned you guys have been in a lot of close games lately. It obviously isn't always just about that last play. You guys had the lead, I think, by a couple possessions with 2.5, 3 minutes to play. What kind of tightened up offensively on a night when you guys were able to score a lot of points and were able to kind of sustain some offense?
Just moving the ball, setting screens for each other. I feel like the last few games we haven't been setting screens, getting each other open. I think tonight we was a little bit more physical than the last few games, getting people open, whether it was offensive foul, defensive foul, whatever it may be. But I think we was just a little bit more physical offensively, and we should have been there on defensive as well.
Is the defense what needs to change on the road, or what needs to change on this road trip?
And first and foremost, we got to get a win. No matter how we get it, we just got to get it by any means. And I think for us to go on this road trip, we wanted to win tonight, to go take this road trip on a good note. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But we got to move on to the next game, and that's Milwaukee. And we just got to be prepared, lock in, to the game plan of what we're doing. Try to limit, our mistakes, which is, where we have a lot of trouble at, our mistakes on the court, communication. But I think we just on this road trip we gotta limit all that just to get a win.
Dell, this 3 straight games that kind of come down to the final possession that you guys been on the wrong side of. What's kind of the collective message of the group or mindset of how you flip that script and start coming out with some of these games?
In my opinion, I never feel like it's the last couple possessions. I think it's kind of a snowball effect, starting off in the thirds, in most thirds. I think we did a solid job in the third tonight, but that's kind of been our trend. We got out of the locker room a little earlier than usual, so I think that's what helped us spring forward and be well in the third or do well in the third. I don't know, honestly. I might have to go back and watch. If I'm just thinking, I'm assuming it was offensive rebounds and transition. We got to know our personnel a little bit better. From top to bottom, guys got to know who they're guarding, know their tendencies, do a better job of guarding your yard is what we will say. Yeah.
Was the team not prepared for Chicago's pace tonight, or what? When you talk about knowing who you're guarding, how do you prepare better? I guess.
It's a good question. I think every man on this team is different. I think as a collective, we got to do a better job of just staying locked in for all 48. We do a solid job throughout the game, but we have our lapses that turn into snowball, and they create bigger leads, or we have a lead and teams come back. We got to do a better job of just putting a whole 48 together. We haven't done that. And that's to each man. I mean, I can say it's one thing, I can say it's another thing, but at the end of the day, everybody just got to look in the mirror and just do better. As simple as that is, that's really what it's all about, in my opinion.
I know games don't come down to one player or the other, but what did you see on that final possession that you guys had?
I thought P was gonna knock that down. When it came off, I thought I had enough time to come down with it and go back up. I probably should have just did a putback, but yeah, like you said, it doesn't come down to that. I think we put ourselves in we're allowing ourselves to give the game or putting the game in the wrong hands. The other day we put it in the hands of the referees. Tonight we put it in the hands of one single play at the end of the game. That's. Against good teams, for sure. Not saying Chicago isn't a good team, but they're down a lot of bodies. You know what I'm saying? We just have to do a better job of winning games. We just got to win. That's what we have to do.
Wendell, you guys went to that point. You guys went 1-6 on this homestand, and you've got a tough road trip ahead of you. How do you put this behind you and not let it snowball, like you said earlier?
Be professional in this. We have 18 games left. Either we can, crumble up and go in corners and start pointing fingers, or we can just man up. This is where you separate the boys from the men, in my opinion. Our backs against the wall. Everybody's against us. Everybody that's not inside that locker room is all against us, in my opinion, right now. And I feel like the only way we're gonna get out of this is, we pour into each other. It's very cliche, but honestly, that's what it is right now. We gotta find ways to keep each other motivated, keep each other engaged, and whatever happens these last 18, we gotta, like I said, it's gotta be about your teammate, not about yourself.
We've talked with Jamal in the past over this homestand. He's kind of used the word frustration a few times, kind of assessing the way that you guys have kind of reacted to this. Just how does this stretch differ from other lulls that you have had in your career here versus this one now?
I think what I was saying before, I think is we're doing too much of putting the game in other people's hands, whether that's having defensive breakdowns, whether that's like the last game, putting the game in the refs' hands. I think we're doing a poor job of manning up, including myself. Like we're relying on fouls, or we're relying on I would probably say fouls, and guys, like tonight, Kobe got hot, or whatever the case may have been. We're relying on too many different things instead of just controlling what we can control, which is our effort, our communication, and then if we can go back into the locker room, we lose a game, and everyone said I did everything I could leading up into this game, then you have to live with it. But I feel like, in my opinion, we didn't. And guys just got to do a better job. We're professionals, and like I said before, we just got to look in the mirror and just find ways to get out of this. No one feels sorry for us. We gotta figure it out now or never.
Looking into the mirror, like you said, how you gonna prepare yourself personally for the next trip coming up?
Yeah, for sure. We got some really good teams coming up. Yeah, I mean, it's 18 games left. This 18 is going to go by very quickly. And one thing I've learned about the NBA is that, every team is not the same. After a year, whether that's different players, different whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to find a way to just come together even more. But before that, just guys got to look in the mirror, like you said, like including myself, find ways that I can do even more to help this team win. Whether that's screening better, rebounding better, whatever the case may be, like I communicating better. I'm gonna go back and watch this game and figure out what I can do personally, and then when we come together, we can all bounce ideas off of one another, and then we strap up and we play on Friday or Saturday, right? Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, we gotta figure it out. So.
Thanks, John. Yep. And we'll see you in Milwaukee.